Hi there. Can you hear me? Amazing, yes. Yeah, I can absolutely hear you. Yes, thank you so much for joining me today. Are you so excited? Yes, me too. Well, first off, I just want to say congratulations on winning this amazing trip to Disney World. Yes, everyone on my team is so excited to help you plan this trip. Of course. Yes. All right. So, what we're going to do is just do an initial consultation so that we can start planning this incredible once in a lifetime trip for you. Of course. So, I know it's been a very long time since you've been there, and I believe that no one else in your party that's going with you has been before, right? Amazing. So this will be a brand new experience. You will make so many core memories. We hope that this trip ultimately is the most relaxing, enjoyable, but also magical trip possible. Yes, of course. All right, so what I'm going to do is just go over some basic information. I have my clipboard here. What I'm going to do is take notes about the people in your party. We're going to go with names, ages. If you can specify gender, that would be really helpful. And then we are also just going to go over some basic information about what your local airport is so that we can start to arrange the flights for you as well. And then we'll start to pick out some time frames for you that work for everyone in your party. Absolutely. All right. So after we do all of that, we'll just go over some basic resort information so that we can try to figure out what resort would be best suited for you. And the other thing that we'll do, and we'll do this over today as well as the other consultations that we do, just go over some kind of basic information about these parks, since it's been so long since you've gone and no one else in your party has been. A lot of this information will be fresh and new for you. So to set you up on the right path, what we're going to do is do some introductions about the parks so that you can be so prepared for when you go, so that your vacation truly is just absolutely magical, relaxing, and you can truly enjoy yourself. Of course. All right, so the park we're going to talk about today when we get there is Animal Kingdom. And just for fun, I wore my Lion King shirt. Yes. Oh, you love that movie? Oh, amazing. Well, when we get to talking about it, there is an incredible show at Animal Kingdom I'll tell you about that has to do with Lion King. All right, so let's start off with some intake information for you, okay? Perfect. So this amazing trip that you've won is for you and 3 other guests. So have you already picked out the 3 other guests that will be going? All right, so who are those people? Perfect. Okay, so it will be you, your husband, and your 2 kids? All right, sounds good. So if you can go and spell everyone's full names for me, and if we can also specify again ages and genders, we do need to make sure we have all of this information for when we book the flights for you. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm going to ask is if anyone in your travel party has any specifics they need with traveling. So whether you are in like TSA pre-check, we can get your number for that, or if there's any certain restrictions that you have, dietary restrictions, really anything that we should kind of know to make sure that this trip is as catered to you as possible. Perfect. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get the full names of everyone in your party. And I will start with you. Okay. Perfect. And can you spell your last name for me? Okay. And then what is your middle initial? Okay. And gender? Perfect. And then if I can also get your age for me, please. Alrighty. Perfect. And next I will grab your husband's information. Okay, and his last name? The same. Alright, sounds good. And gender. Okay, and then his age as well. Perfect. And then what is his middle initial? Perfect. Alrighty. And then I'm going to start on your kids. If you can please give me the oldest first. And that is H-E-W. Okay. Alright, and last name the same. Amazing. And gender? Okay, and then age. We are looking to book a trip for next year, probably from June and beyond. So we want to go with the age at the time of travel. So we can specify this later if we need to, but just take a good guess if we're traveling somewhere between June and December next year. All right, so either 8 or 9. Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Alrighty. And middle initial? All right, perfect. And then your youngest. Okay, and the same last name? Perfect, perfect. And then for the gender? Okay. And then again, the guess of age at the time of travel. 5 or 6. Okay, perfect. And then middle initial? T. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so we've got everybody's basic travel information. So is there any specific travel considerations that we need to take into account? Again, when it comes to airport travel, does anybody have pre-check? Do we need to make sure that anybody sits in certain modified seats? Anything of that nature? No? Okay. And then are there any like serious dietary considerations that we need to take into account, excuse me? No dietary restrictions, okay. All right, and then just a quick question. Just want to make sure for both of your kids, they just will eat kind of standard food on a menu. Neither of them require any sort of like modified child food, right? Perfect, okay. Excellent. Alrighty, that sounds amazing. So what I'm going to do is just take some information from you so that we can set up your flights. So for your your 2 closest airports, what are the airport codes? And if you don't know, you can just tell me the location. Okay, so it would either be... Okay, sounds good. Is there one that you are closer to? The second one, all right. Well, what we can do is arrange for private transport anyway from your home to the airport. That is part of the vacation that you want. Yeah. Alrighty, so all of that looks good. Is there anything else that we need to know in regards to setting up your travel from your home to Orlando? Okay. Alrighty, so all of that checks out. So again, we are anticipating that we will have this trip planned somewhere between June and December. Are there any specific time frames that you would either like to have in consideration or avoid? So for example, since you will be traveling with your 2 kids who are of school age, do you want to try to have this be a summer trip so they don't have to be pulled out of school? Or are you okay if we have, for example, a week in maybe October where they might need to be removed from school? All right, so we want to prefer the summer. But if not, because it's hot. It's very hot in the summer, yes. So maybe more like October or November. Okay. Perfect. And is that something that you and your spouse would be okay with taking time off of work for? Okay. Yeah, so what we could do is really draft up what time frames would work out with the resorts that you would want to go at. We will send you kind of like a travel template so that you can get that approved with your works. All right, we are good there. Perfect. Thank you so much for all of that detailed information. So now what I'm going to do is just go through some of the resorts, and you can tell me if there are certain resorts that you would like to stay at, or if there are ones you'd like to avoid. And this trip that you won is completely and totally paid for, so money is not going to be a factor in your decision, okay? Yeah, so let me just tell you a little bit about those resorts. Yes. So have you stayed at a Disney resort before when you went many, many, many years ago? You did? Do you remember where you stayed perchance? You don't. That's okay. You think it was near Epcot. All right. So what we'll try to do is not have you stay at the exact same resort because this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. We really want this to be as memorable as possible and that you can make brand new memories. So what we do suggest is that we consider deluxe resorts first. The reason why we want to consider those first is because those are the truly amazing hotels that you think of when you think of a Disney hotel. The other thing that's really nice about deluxe resorts is you have some amazing bonuses. You do have early entry, which gets you into the theme parks a half an hour early, just like all other resort guests. But most of the deluxe resorts are located near a selection of the parks, which makes it so much easier both for you to get to the parks, also to get back to your hotel. And if you want to take a midday nap or pool break, it's very easy for you to get back and forth. Yes, and then the other consideration of a deluxe resort is that you get extended evening hours, usually a few times a week at various resorts. So for example, on perhaps a Wednesday night, if Magic Kingdom closes at 10 p.m., all of our deluxe resort guests get to stay from 10 to 12 with no one else being able to get on the rides but them. Yes, it would be late, so it would be a little bit hard for you to do perhaps with the kids, but maybe like one night you guys can sleep in, you can do pool time in the morning, or maybe do some like Disney Spring shopping, and then you can kind of have like an extended time at the park. Yes, you will experience the absolute lowest wait times possible. All right. So let me just run through some of the deluxe resorts with you. I'll tell you some of the features of them, and then you can kind of tell me if any of those sound good to you, okay? Yeah. Alrighty, so what we're going to start off with are the deluxe resort hotels that are near Magic Kingdom. So the first thing I want to ask, are there any specific places that you know your kids really want to visit? So obviously these theme parks are Disney owned, so they have a lot of Disney intellectual property. So that, you know, could be the Disney princesses, that could be you have Star Wars Land in Hollywood Studios, there's Avatar in Animal Kingdom that we'll talk about. Alrighty, so your oldest really likes Star Wars. Okay, and then your youngest really likes the princesses. Understood. Is there anything that you and your spouse really enjoy? You guys like Pandora. Okay, so taking that into consideration, obviously the princesses, the primary places you're going to find those, are going to be Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Over at Hollywood Studios is where you have the Star Wars Land, but there's also Toy Story Land. Your youngest will probably love that place. And then Animal Kingdom does have Pandora. So the locations I would suggest maybe staying the closest to would probably be Magic Kingdom, because you can get to Epcot and Magic Kingdom very easily. You would have to take a bus to Animal Kingdom no matter what resort you stayed at. But if you wanted to do some park hopping, it would be very easy for you to take the monorail from your resort to Epcot, maybe walk through Epcot, and then take the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. Alrighty, sounds good. So for the resorts that we have at Magic Kingdom, the three options are Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. The other one you have is the Contemporary. And then the third option is going to be Polynesian Village. So they all have kind of pros and cons. My suggestion, because you have two younger kids with you, is the Polynesian Village is a really great spot for kids. There's also an incredible pool there that they will probably really enjoy. The thing I like most about the Contemporary is that it is super easy to walk to the front steps of Magic Kingdom. So that's also another consideration. The other thing that's nice about the Contemporary is it is one monorail stop away from where you transfer to get to Epcot. So those are probably the two I would really like kind of air you to consider. Would be the Polynesian and the Contemporary. Okay, so you would consider either. Perfect. So they both have very good dining options in them as well. All of the deluxe resorts do. So we would consider the Contemporary or the Polynesian. Alrighty, so we will take that into account. All of the hotel rooms at Polynesian and Contemporary can house up to 4 people, so we've got you guys covered there. Do you think that you would consider only eating food in dining and quick service, or do you think that you would prefer to have like a food service delivery if you had a room that had like a little kitchenette in it? Okay, that sounds good. Perfect. So we'll definitely take that into consideration, but you feel like that explanation works for both of those. Alrighty, so that sounds good. We'll take those into consideration. What we'll do is we'll compare some dates in the summer. We'll also compare some of the dates that we had discussed in like October-ish or November-ish, and then we'll put all of that into a file for you, okay? Amazing. All right. So what I'm going to do next is just tell you a little bit about one of the parks. I'm going to start off with Animal Kingdom. This is the current guide map for Animal Kingdom. I will say that there are some exciting changes coming here over the next couple of years. So we will certainly update you before your trip with all of the current offerings that are there and with anything that might be closed because they're adding some new things in, okay? Of course. So this is the map for Disney's Animal Kingdom. So with Animal Kingdom, the way it is broken down is you have one central hub location, which is the Tree of Life. And then you have all of these different lands around that area. So you walk in through the Oasis into Discovery Island. From Discovery Island, you can go to any of the other locations. So some of the parts of each section that are my favorite. So Oasis really is just meant to be kind of like an entrance park. This is where you can do stroller rentals, that sort of thing. There is a rainforest cafe dining option over here, but really the goal is to get you into Discovery Island. What's nice about the Oasis, there are some small little animal featurettes in there, including a very cute anteater, if I do say so myself. Absolutely. So in Discovery Island, you do have your Tree of Life. This is an amazing tree that has a ton of different animal carvings in it, all done by hand. It's truly beautiful to see. There are also some animal features surrounding that area as well. Within the Tree of Life, you do have a show that is going to be changed over sometime next year. It is going to be a Zootopia show, so we will let you know if that has opened by the time of your trip. You might be one of the first ones to see it. How exciting! Yep. So this is Discovery Island. There is some live entertainment that you can see and hear. There's also some food options here as well. I particularly like Flame Tree Barbecue, which you can find over here. All right, so Dinoland USA, which is over here, this is one of those areas that will probably not be open by the time of your trip. This is going to be getting redone over the next couple of years, so we're not really going to focus on it too much. But one thing that is near Dinoland USA is the Finding Nemo show, The Big Blue and Beyond. This is about a half an hour. It's inside with incredible air conditioning, so if you go in the summer when it's hot, this is a really great way for you guys to take a break so no one gets overheated. And it's super cute with very, very catchy music, so very much suggest. I think your youngest would for sure love this. Absolutely. So the next section is going to be Asia. So Asia is over here. Asia has one of the best roller coasters that you can find at Disney World called Everest. Did you go on that? No? Okay, I do suggest it. Your youngest will probably be a little bit too young to ride when you guys go. Might not be quite tall enough, but you can do rider switch so that all three of you are able to partake. So you'll find that over there. Asia also has the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which I strongly suggest. It's a really great walking trail where you can see a bunch of different animal features. And you can learn about some of the animals that are there. Yeah, absolutely. And so you also have over in Asia, you have Feathered Fens in Flight, which is a really cool bird show. And you also have Kali River Rapids, which is a fun water ride that is over here. And then the Maharaja Jungle Trek is over there. There are also some smaller food options in there too. One of my favorites is Yak and Yeti, which is in Asia too. Alrighty, so the next section as you're walking through will be Africa. Africa has one of my absolute favorite rides, which is Kilimanjaro Safaris. That is all of this area up here. What's really cool about the safari is this is different every single time you go. These are live animals, and so they will do something different every time you go. My suggestion is to go either later in the day or earlier in the morning. It's when the animals are most active. Yep, you also have here Festival of the Lion King. That's the show I was talking about. This is roughly 25 minutes. It's an amazing show that sort of does a little bit of a retelling of the Lion King and has some amazing music in it with amazing performers. Yeah. So as we are making our way through, over down here is Pandora. So this is one of the newest sections. This has some amazing food options in it. You also have two really beautiful rides. You have Flight of Passage, which is something your whole family will enjoy. It's really breathtaking the first time that you go on this. And then there is also a boat ride in there that you can enjoy as well. Yeah. And that's just a little bit of an overview of Animal Kingdom. Of course, yes. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll send you guys some copies of some of the latest information. That way you can kind of decide what you want to know more about. And as we do these consultations leading up to your trip, we'll go over all of that with you. Of course. Alrighty, well, we are nearing the end of our time, so I'm going to let you get back to your day, and I'll have this sent to you by the end of the week, okay? Of course, yep. Have a magical day.